What's up? What's up? What's up, Scruffy fam? Here we are. Here we are. We got let's see. What do we got going on today? We got going on today Ron DeSanchez is about to put toxic materials in your street. In your street. The street that you're going to be driving on. Listen, I don't like any government. So, anybody who tries to put me in a camp where I should like Biden, I should like Trump. They're both the same person. In fact, I've seen Biden's been worse than Trump. But, hey, Ron DeSantis is in that same category. And he's a despicable dude. He's about to put you, your family, and your loved ones at more risk. Why? Because he's going to add toxic chemicals into the pavement that paves your roads. So you'll be driving on it every day. The people who are trying to make it, the people who are trying to pave the roads, will be subject to that every single day. Every day that they go to work. Every single day. In toxic material over a long period of time. Not even a long period of time. It doesn't even have to be a long period of time. All it has to be is a toxic material and it come in contact with you. We don't like it that these forever chemicals are in our water, but we're about to put a worse chemical into the street that you drive on every single day. Let me tell you about how this works. Here, we'll go into this. You ready?
Now, with the recent scare at Piney Point, we've heard a lot about phosphogypsum stacks. They've basically been added to our vernacular here. But they can be risky for our environment. So why do we even have them? 10 Investigates' Jenna Bourne takes a deeper dive into the science behind all of it.
Phosphogypsum might sound.
I'm just giving you the background on exactly what the material is, and then I will talk about Ron DeSantis and putting it in there. Putting it in your pavement.
Like something from a sci-fi movie, but what is it really?
So the process of making phosphate fertilizer involves taking this soft rock phosphate and mixing it with sulfuric acid. The byproduct is gypsum, a mineral gypsum. It's a calcium sulfate mineral, and it is produced as a byproduct of this mine. Roughly in a 5-to-1, so about 5 tons of phosphogypsum are formed for every ton of phosphoric acid that's made. So it is a very large byproduct of this process.
So why do we need phosphorus anyway? It's an important part of fertilizer, which means it's crucial for food production.
And depleted uranium weapons that we send to Ukraine, but that's another point.
Acquiring phosphate worth the risk?
Yes, in general, roughly of the 7 billion people on the earth, 6 billion are fed through the use of fertilizers such as nitrogen and phosphorus fertilizers.
And according to USF School of Geosciences professor Dr. Matt Pazik, about 70% of all phosphorus in the US comes from Florida because we have that soft rock phosphate. So he says it's actually more ecologically friendly to mine it in Florida because we don't have to blow up rocks with dynamite or anything like that.
Is there any replacement for phosphorus?
Honestly, no. There is no way of having fertilizer not have phosphorus in it.
Phosphate rock also contains uranium, thorium, and radium. All of that comes out as waste, which, according to the EPA, eventually decays to radon, a
Radon. Uranium. Remember this, because this is going to be in your streets in Florida.
radioactive gas. And that's what's in the phosphogypsum stacks we keep hearing about that could pose a threat if they're released into the environment.
Now, as he just explained there, 70% of all phosphorus in the U.S. comes from right here in Florida. Let's take a deeper dive into phosphate mining, because according to the EPA, phosphate rock mining is actually the 5th largest mining industry in the U.S. The phosphate industry is concentrated in the southeastern United States. About 90% of phosphate is actually mined in Florida, North Carolina, and Tennessee, those 3 states. We've got more phosphate facts if you want to check them out at 10tampabay.com.
Now think about this. If they just said 70% comes from Florida, right? 70% comes from Florida? If 70% of the phosphorus comes from Florida, then why are we even talking about the other states? Because that's 30%. But anyway, Florida moves forward on radioactive road paving plan as Governor DeSantis signs a new law, and that radioactive pavement plan is phosphorus that they are going to be sitting in there. So now, it's kind of like this. How are you going to feel about going to get a paving the road jobs where you're using the reclaimers to reclaim the older stuff and putting down this newer stuff that is radioactive that you're gonna, are you getting, and even if you have hazmat suits, we already know that radioactive stuff doesn't work like that. It's not as, so what we're gonna say is Ron DeSantis is actually getting workers to kill themselves long term just for the little bit of money that they're going to get in the short term. Let me know how you feel about this. And you like questions, comments, and all that stuff. Are you for having radioactive equipment or radioactive materials in your streets? The same streets that your kids play basketball on. Because I know for a fact when I was younger, we played basketball on the sidewalk and in the streets. And everybody had their crate because we couldn't afford a basketball rim. So, all those kids that are playing these basketball things in your streets and now, think about this too. Your basketball courts, what are they going to be paved with? Because they use the same material to pave them for your parks and stuff like that. They're all the same material. So now, are you going to be willing to have your kids hanging out with radioactive material? How are we supposed to keep your kids safe nowadays? I guess you're not. But this is Uncle Scruff. I think we're out for this one. Leave your questions, comments, likes, concerns. Let me know if you are up for having your kids run around all day on radioactive material. Got it? Uncle Scruff, I'm out. Peace.